Hello, everyone. This is Denise from the Hypergamous Journey. And at this channel, we talk about dating advice for women who are 55 and older. So, I just returned maybe about an hour, 45 minutes ago from a kind of date, but not really. So, candidate number 2 invited me to a meeting with him and his classmates and regarding a trip to the Georgia mountains. And I'm not going to go, but he asked me to come and meet his friends. So I said, okay. So this is what transpired. This man kind of drinks a little too much for me. I don't drink alcohol, and no shade to anybody who does, but I just don't. I never liked the taste of it. So he drinks a little bit much, but he's a nice guy. He's not husband material. He's not hypergamy, but he's a man that I get to practice communicating with in a feminine way and all of those things that I'm trying to work out. So I get to practice with him. So when I arrive at the table, he introduces me to everyone, his classmates, and there's this couple who he used to work with the woman, and he knows her boyfriend from another place and time. So he's known her boyfriend for 6 years, and he's known this woman for 10, he said. So he introduces them to me, and everything is going along pretty fine. And then I noticed that one of his classmates, a woman, looks like she's about to cry. So I walk over to her. No, before I say that, my date walks away. We're sitting at this bar height table, and my date walks away. He doesn't say anything to me. He just walks away. He disappears. So I'm looking for him, not getting up to look, but I'm looking for him from where I'm sitting, and I don't see him. I'm like, well, the restroom is behind me, so he's not there. He walked straight ahead and he just disappeared. So then he comes back and sits down, and he doesn't say anything to me, and he doesn't say anything to me when he leaves. He just gets up and walks away. So I was like, okay. So the woman who's sitting directly across from me looks like she's about to cry. And I had heard some people say, are you okay? And this and that. And she said, oh, I'm all right, like this, when she came to the table with her boyfriend. And these are people who are in their 50s and 60s, I think, except for the couple that he works with. He worked with the young woman. She looked to be 38, 42, somewhere around there, and her boyfriend the same age. So this working couple that he worked with get up and they go to another table so that the new woman who looks like she's about to cry, her and her boyfriend, can come, because they were at the restaurant already. The working couple, they were at the restaurant already on a date. So my date invited them, the working couple, to sit down. And so when the rest of the mountain people, the couple, came, they left. The working couple left. So the woman sitting in front of me looks like she's about to cry. So I walk over to her and I say, do you want to step outside and talk? So she said yes. So she goes outside with me, and she tells me that her ex-husband just died. She just buried him. And the song that was playing on in the bar reminded her of him. And this is just me sitting there being observant. I don't know any of these people. I'm here with my date to show support. So when I come back, he wants to know, what was that about? But this is the man who got up from his seat next to me to go off and do God knows what. He didn't say, Denise, I'll be back. I saw somebody I know. He didn't say any of that. He just left. So then about 5 minutes later, he gets up out of his seat and he goes to the working couple. The girl's boyfriend, is gone. So he decides to go over to her and hug her. And he hugged her in such a way that his hand slid across her back. I was like, oh. Then she was talking to him, I guess, catching up on old things. And he's just talking to her, having a good time. Then another woman walks up to her and my date, and he hugs this other woman. And then he starts, doing a little bit of this to a new song that's on. And I'm sitting in my table watching all of this happen. And I'm thinking, I came to this thing because he asked me to. This meeting with his classmates because he asked me to. I'm not going on a damn mountain trip with him because I just met him like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I am here for him. But he is off flirting with the chick he used to work with while her boyfriend is off somewhere else. He's not there. So I'm saying, okay, well, I've ordered my food, which is fried shrimp and French fries, and I haven't eaten. So I'm trying to wait until my French fries come because I'm getting the hell out of here. But my French fries and my shrimp were taking too long. So I just slid my little self right on out of my chair, walked around the bar so I wouldn't have to pass him. And I went to my car and drove home. And I said, well, I'm going to see how long it's going to take him to realize that I'm not there and call me to see where I am. It took him about 10 minutes. So he had, I'm assuming, took him 10 minutes to call me. So he did his little flirting over there with the ex-coworker. And he had gotten back to the table. Probably my food was delivered. And then he's wondering where I am. I said, I left. He's like, oh, why you leave? And I said, call me when you get home. So I called my girlfriend, my neighbor, and we've been discussing it, having a good laugh about it. And it's like how rude and disrespectful. Just rude and disrespectful. So anyway, I will update you on what he has to say for himself. Because what they used to say in Living Color, homie don't play that. I think that's the show that said, in Living Color said, homie don't play that. Homie don't play that. So anyway, when I walked into the place, all the men looked at me. All of them, young and old, all of them looked at me. When I went to the restroom, I made a little comment to a young woman who was there. She looked to be 25, 30 years old, and we joked about my little comment. This is what the place said. It was a local bar, okay? It was a dive. So the sign said something along the lines, we're not responsible for injury. That's what the sign said on the women's restroom door. We're not responsible for injury. So I thought that was funny because the whole place looked like plywood was for a floor. It's supposed to be like a beach theme. Plywood was for the floor. And I said to her, what? Are we going to fall through the floor or something? They said they're not responsible for injury. We going to fall through the floor? So we both laughed about that. And then she said, you are so pretty. You are so, and this was a beautiful young woman herself. So I was like, oh, thank you. Just made my damn day. And here this person come flirting with some other chick. I wasn't intimidated by her. She was nice looking. Well, hell, I'm nice looking. That's what I think. People call me pretty. I call me pretty. But, the man that I'm with, the date, he's off there flirting with her. And I was like, is he trying to get back at me for taking his classmate outside to talk about what was making her about to cry. And she revealed to me that her ex-husband, and she said, we loved each other. We weren't together, but we loved each other. This man was the father of her daughter. And I said, do you want me to, give you a hug? And she said, yes. I was trying to comfort somebody who looked like they were about to just explode with emotion. I felt it from her. And also, when she first walked in, and my date introduced her and her boyfriend to me, she hugged my boyfriend and she walked over to me, and it seemed like she wanted to give me a hug. So there must have been something about her body movement where I grasped that she wanted to hug me. And I said to her, you want to hug me? Come on, hug me. And so we hugged each other. I said, because I felt like you wanted to hug me. She said, yeah, but some people, they don't want you to do that. So that was our first interaction with this woman who was grieving the loss of her ex-husband, the father of her daughter. So I felt like my date, and he wanted me to tell him what she and I talked about outside. And he was looking at me and looking at me, and he was looking at, my profile. So I just refused to turn around and look at him. So he said, well, what was that about? And I ignored him because he didn't communicate with me when he got out of his seat and went God knows where. He didn't say I'm coming back or I'll be right back or anything. He just left. And then he showed back up. So I left. I felt empowered, and I don't care what he thought or said and what his excuses are, whatever. It was disrespectful. I'm not going to take anybody's disrespect, period. And don't you either. Thank you for watching. My name is Denise, the Hypergamous Journey. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and don't forget those journals. They're on Amazon. Bye.